How
Okay,
much money did you make in 2020?
almost $151,000 in 2020.
Say that one more time.
150,000 plus.
As far as these episodes are concerned, my man, you are the most successful signing agent I've interviewed yet. I can't wait to
Oh,
tell
thank you.
people how amazing your journey is. So let's get right into your story. Another episode of On the Road with the Loan Signing System. Here with signing agent Derek out in Utah,
Yes,
Salt Lake
sir.
City, Utah in the house. How you doing today, Derek?
Unbelievable.
Oh, I'm so happy you're here. Your story, like all of these, man, is super inspiring. I can't wait to tell it. So let's just get people inspired right out of the gate, brother. How
Okay,
much money did you make in 2020?
almost $151,000 in 2020.
Say that one more time.
150,000 plus.
When you say that, man, how do you feel? Like when you say that out loud, what feelings go through you? Tell me what that feels like.
It's I just want to be a hero to my family. So I'm just proud to be that hero for my family.
Oh, I love that. I want to be a hero to my family. That is beautiful. It's why we all do it, my man. So excited for you. So, let's get people inspired a little bit more. How much money did you make last month?
So in January, I made just over 20,000.
And the $20,000 a month
Yeah.
signing agent. I hope everybody hears this. And just for the record, as far as these episodes are concerned, my man, you are the most successful signing agent I've interviewed yet. I can't wait to
Oh,
tell
thank you.
people how amazing your journey is. So let's get right into your story. Here's the cool part about this story, everybody, is I actually can't take credit for all of the success Derek has experienced. Before Derek took my course, he was actually already making $10,000 a month. He took my course and now he's a $20,000 a month signing agent. So Derek, I want to talk to everyone about your journey because, unlike some of our other students where it's kind of, $0 to $10,000 a month, you were making that on your own, right? So what I
Correct.
want to inspire people with is this growth mindset you had in the middle of your journey, right? You're making $10,000 a month. Let's talk people through this idea of like, you've seen my course. You're like, I don't need Mark's course. Talk through people like, this closed-minded mindset you had before this growth mindset. Because I think, like you said before, you kind of attribute taking my course to getting you to that $20,000 a month mark. So let's tell your story, brother. So, let's talk people back about, this, what I call closed-minded mindset. Talk people through that part of your journey to inspire them to where you are today.
Hindsight, I can't believe I thought this way, honestly. But anyway, yeah, I just thought, hey, this is the 21st century. I don't need anyone's help. I can do this. I can figure this out on my own. I'll find the information. It was just me just being arrogant and thinking I'm just too cool for school and I can figure this out on my own. And I was doing well, and I realized I need some help.
I appreciate you saying that. You said a word, man, that I think is very vulnerable. And thank you for sharing that. Cause it's very, sometimes it's not comfortable saying I was arrogant. Right. And so, but I think you're going to
Yeah.
help another signing agent who's kind of in your own spot where like, I don't need no one else's help. I'm making $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month, $7,000 a month. But I think what's really inspiring about your story is, that's what you said to yourself at one point. What do you think
Yeah.
drove you to have this, I can do it on my own. I don't need anyone's help. Like kind of talk through that and maybe help someone else who might be able to relate to what you were thinking at one term.
Yeah, I don't. It's hard to say that now because it just seems so small-minded. But really, I just thought I could. I just figured, oh, I'm smart. I'm smart enough to figure this out. And I quickly realized, gosh, I mean, if I wanted to stay small, then I'll keep my small mind. And if I wanted to
Oh,
think big, I need to go bigger. And then that's when I was like, I need to make changes.
Man, that quote was fire. If I wanted to stay small, I would have stayed small minded.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful that you had, the beautiful part. We'll talk about your transition on when it kind of really hit you. But, I meet so many signing agents who, or to use your frame, are small minded. And it's like, I try to tell everyone that will listen, I have 1,000 mentors. Like, successful people are the best students. I think there's a mindset, Derek, and maybe you can agree or disagree, that some people, sometimes when people think they're reaching out to someone else for help, that makes them feel weak. It's like the moment they need to ask for help, it almost makes them feel like, I'm weak. I can do this
Yeah.
on my own. I don't need it for help because, and again, and that's just very small minded, like you said. But, was there a moment of you where, where you're feeling like, if I reach out to someone else, that's admitting that I can't do it? Was that maybe part of the mindset? 'Cause I'm trying to dig into someone who used to think like that, to help someone else who might think like, I don't want to reach out to anyone because that makes me look like I'm not smart, I'm not intelligent, something like that. Talk through that.
Yeah, and part of it was a little bit of self-doubt that I had in myself. Like, could I do this? I started doubting myself. Like, I don't know, can I do this? And so, yeah, there was a lot of self-doubt that I was having, and I just
Well,
and I just knew I could do something.
they'll tell me if I'm on the right track, because I think that's powerful. Because I know early on in my career, I didn't think I was capable of making $20,000 a month, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes, we doubt our ability to even grow. Like, doing $10,000 a month is insane, but
right.
can I really make $20,000? Like, like the part of, is that, am I kind of on those same wavelength thing where maybe you doubted your ability to like even grow big? Like, there's no possible way I can do more than what I'm doing right now.
It seemed almost out of touch, like
Mm.
something that I couldn't do. Like, I thought I could probably do 100,000 a year or 10,000 a month. I think I can get to that point, but that might be the limit I could do. And yeah, probably maybe as a man, I probably was thinking, how am I going to figure this out? I can't really ask for help. There's no one I can even ask for help about this, that I thought.
Right. No, that's really, because I try to teach you students, you have to think big, right? If you
Yeah.
think normal's all you're ever going to get. Like, if you think you can make 10 grand, 10 grand's all you're ever going to get. You got to start thinking making 20. And Derek, I think now, you're capable of 7 figures in this business,
Yes.
right? And what
Yeah.
I think super inspiring about your story too, is that you're in Salt Lake City. You're not in Denver, Los Angeles,
Right.
Dallas. You're not in Miami. You're not in Seattle. Like, you're what some people would say, you're a Utah signing agent. Can you make a
Yeah.
$250,000 a year in Utah as a signing agent? The answer is yes, you can, because that's what you're
Yeah.
on pace to do.
I can look out my window and there's thousands of houses out here looking outside my window. So yes,
I
yes, you
love
can.
it. I love it. I love it. No, I think you hit on a couple of big points there, man. I appreciate, again, I was trying to get through, because I wanted your story to be a little different than the other stories I've told. And, I think that, your story is all about mindset, because like I teach you guys, the right mindset is as important as not missing signatures, dates, and initials.
Yes.
Understanding what you're capable of, again, is as important as not missing dates, signatures, initials. And I love how you talk through that. Like, I wasn't even sure if I can pull off 20 grand a month. That seemed
Yeah.
unreasonable, unfathomable. So if someone's out there right now, Derek, who's like, there's no way I can make $20,000 in a month, what would you say to that person?
If someone has done it before, you can do it too. All
Mm.
right. If someone's done it, you can do it. So knowing that there are people in this industry that make 7 figures, then that means I can too. And I know I will.
I love it. And I mean, this whole entire interview today is going to be about mindset. And I think you hit on something early on in this interview is when you see others, you see what's possible.
Yes.
You don't see others and see, oh, I'm a failure. Like, we have students doing 7 figures.
Right.
And now you're saying to yourself, if Robin can do 7 figures, I can do 7 figures. And
Yeah.
that's the mindset of a $20,000 a month signing agent. It isn't discouragement that someone else is doing 7 figures. It is, if they can do it, I can do it. And my man, let me ask you another quick question here. Like,
Okay.
if you could make $20,000 a month in Salt Lake City, Utah, do you think anybody can make $20,000 a month?
Yes, absolutely. And I can't handle everything, right? So that means there's still plenty out there for everybody. Plenty.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So let's kind of take people through this aha moment, right? I mean, like you said, you've already talked about that, you had a small mindset of I didn't need anyone else. I'm arrogant. I can do this on my own. And then thank you again for being vulnerable. Then you had a moment of like, okay, cool. I'm at 10, but there's no way that I can get to 20. And there was some self-doubt in there. So I appreciate you talking through some of those feelings that you had, or a mindset's probably a better word. Walk people through the aha moment where you had this small-minded mentality, you had this self-doubt creep in. What was the moment where you're like, okay, man, I've been seeing Mark's videos for a minute. Maybe I
Yeah.
was going to bite the bullet, because here's the funny part. My course is $500. You're making $10,000. So it wasn't a monetary issue why you weren't taking my course, right? It's like, it's all a mindset thing. So tell people through that kind of that bridge that can help them maybe if they're in that moment.
Sounds a lot more foolish when you say it out loud. I'll tell you that. Why I didn't do it sooner. Um, but but yeah, it was basically, for me to reach my income, I'm doing about 6 to 8 a day, signings a day. And I just knew there has to be an easier way. There has to be. There's no way I can keep doing this forever. There has to be an easier way. And I just knew, after watching your videos, and I just knew that you would be the one that could teach me how to simplify my life, how to simplify my business, and how to scale it as well.
Well, I love it. So what I heard, and thank you so much for that, man. And honestly, thank you so much for trusting me. I mean, I know it took a lot for you to kind of
Yeah.
swallow it and say, okay, I
Humble
can.
pie for
Yeah,
sure.
that's right. And so, what I tell when I first talked to Derek and became on the one-on-one webinar, I said, look, I'm so proud of your mindset, and I hope people really get from this video how a $20,000 signing agent thinks, because we're going to talk about your mindset in the next segment of this interview. So I hope everyone's
Okay.
excited for that. But before we get there, it's just the fact that you were able to bite the bullet and do it. But what I heard is you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. It
Yeah.
was like, there has to be a different way. And it was almost a cry for help. And,
Yes.
and it's funny because we're all different breaking points in our journeys, right? And you had a blessed breaking point. You had more business than you know what to do with. And so
True.
like,
It's
that's a
true.
good breaking point.
Yes.
But you're feeling overwhelmed and you're like, look, I got to get a mentor in my corner. Talk people through that sense of overwhelm, because whether somebody gets it at 5,000, 8,000, or 10,000, my guess is the feeling's kind of the same. So when you're getting overwhelmed with a business that was kind of bursting at the seams, talk through that so other people can kind of relate to that part.
Yeah, and I don't want to woe is me, right? Because this is a good problem to have. But yeah, it was basically, I'm up late because I not only am I doing 6 to 8 signings, I have a family. I have 2 kids and a wife that needs my attention as well, besides my clients. So, I'm up late. I get home, I spend time with them, and then I'm down in the office till late at night. I'm up early to do my signings. My phone is blowing up. Starting at 5 in the morning, Mark, my phone is already blowing up because of my East Coast clients, and because I have some clients out in Florida and other areas. And so my phone is blowing up at 5 in the morning, and and then I have West Coast clients, so until late at night my phone is blowing up. And I'm like, how can I scale this? How can I make my life easier? How can I simplify this business, but also grow it, right? Because I don't want to shrink. I want to keep growing. So how can I manage all that?
Mm.
And that's when I knew I got to make a change. I've got to open my mind up to something different,
I
because this
love
is
it.
something I've never experienced before.
I love it. But what I love is that, like, kind of your environment forced you to make a decision that obviously was for the better. You went from 10 to 20,000 when you took my course. Let's talk through trying to help another person who might have a smaller mindset like you used to have. Are you glad you made the decision to get a mentor? And I don't want this to be a huge loan signing system commercial. I just want to help anyone who's constantly getting a mentor or not, right? Are you glad you did it? Do you wish you would have done it earlier? Talk through some of the weight that's on your shoulder that I'm sure somebody else watching this who refuses to get my course or get a mentor, who's probably feeling what you felt. So talk through like being relieved and letting go of a lot of that pressure and stress.
If you've even considered the notion of it, then do it. There's a reason why that's come to you. You need a mentor, you need a coach. And thinking back now, I really have wondered how many thousands I've lost by not taking this course and being mentored by you earlier, to be honest. I think about that. How many thousands have I lost by delaying, by thinking I'm too cool to do this?
Right.
It's crazy to think about.
Yeah, no, and it is honestly, because I mean, the key to life and business and life is working smarter, not harder.
Yes.
And then sometimes when we're working on our own, we don't realize that we're working harder, not smarter.
Yeah.
Right. And so talk to someone right now who's probably working harder, not smarter, by doing this on your own and being like, look, I get where you're at. I used to think I could do this on my own. Talk to that signing agent right now about how much is less pressure and stress and overwhelmness that you now feel by having someone else on your team.
And I get it. There's some pride to reaching a certain level of success that you have in mind. And when you reach a certain level, whether it's you wanted to make 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 a month, whatever your level of that you were hoping, and you get there, I get that pride. But just know there's more to it. And the relief, now you won't even believe it. I'll drop a penny on something to make my life easier. I'll drop hundreds and thousands of dollars on equipment, on supplies, on whatever it is to make my job more painless. And I'm telling you guys, you will, there is ways, and if you surround yourself with a mentorship group, like what we actually have a great mentorship group. The tips and that you can learn will just, I mean, I feel so much less stress on me. Like I don't feel weighed down. Like I feel actually really light. Like I have more energy now, which is crazy. Like I'm busier, but I have more energy. It's crazy.
Well, what's crazy is you said something really deep again, and thank you so much for being vulnerable, man. Because you're admitting a lot of things that people I don't think would admit otherwise. And you use the word pride, because I think you hit it on the nail. And I was trying to find the right word throughout the entire conversation of what it is that prevents people from getting a mentor. And I think it's the word pride. And sometimes swallowing your pride is the best thing for a business. And what's really cool is after you got me as a mentor, it's like a light went off, period. And it's like, because you just mentioned you spent, money on other business activities and things that make your life easier. It's like, once I let this growth mindset go, like, oh my gosh, the waterfall happened. It's like, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to make this easier. I'm going to take vacations, because there's always going to be business. Like the abundance mindset just hits you like a rock.
It really did.
And life became easier. So it wasn't just about me getting me as a mentor, but and people don't know, we haven't talked about this in this interview, is that, you took almost half of December off. There would have been a point in your career where you wouldn't have taken half a month off.
No.
And it's that abundance mindset that you're growing, that like, look, there's gonna be more business out there for me. I can spend money to make money, whether that be equipment. Let me give everyone a tiny little insight, Derek. Derek's going to be the next episode of Notary Hacks. I am flying to Utah to get that notary hacks of a $20,000 a month signing agent. So all those little things you heard him saying, spending money on making his job efficient, we're going to cover that, man. I'm excited. But back to this interview. Okay. But I think what's really cool is your abundant mindset took over. And so it wasn't just getting a mentor. It was everything. Like, look, I'm going to take vacations. And, we're going to talk about your mindset in a moment. But before we do, is there anything else you want to kind of end with on this part of your journey of going from, a scarcity mindset to a closed-minded mindset to a growth mindset into an abundance mindset? Is there any last words of inspiration or topics you want to leave with before we segue to the rest?
Yeah, I'm just going to repeat it. If you've had that notion that maybe you should, maybe this is for you, maybe you should get a mentor, do it. There's a reason it's come to you. Do it.
Love it, man. Love it. So, the next question I usually ask is, let's talk about your income journey. But you know what? Your income journey was already amazing before you came to me or you became a student. So I really don't want to go into that. But I think what I really want to do is to dig into a mindset of a $20,000 a month signing agent, right? So, instead of talking about how much money you made this month, let's just go right into like a mindset. 'Cause I think it's gonna be a really cool segment on this interview
Okay.
is, to get to $20,000, you've endured some no's, right? You've endured
Lot.
some bad days, right? I mean, every business that's scaling isn't flowers and rainbows the entire time as much as
Right.
we'd like it to be. And so, what I want to dig into, man, is what the word no means to you. When you have a bad day, what does that mean to you? Kind of talk through the mindset of what it takes to get to the $20,000 a month range and dealing with some of the stuff that people don't want to talk about, right? Which are the bad days, which are the word no. So
Yeah.
let's got to dig into your mind and let's talk about the word no.
Sure.
How do you get through all these no's to get to the yeses? Like, talk through what that is for you.
Yeah, going to the title companies originally and being told no was discouraging. When you get dressed up and you walk in and you're stuttering through your words and you're trying to get it out there, and then you end with nope, no, we're good, thanks anyway. It is disheartening, and you're walking out like, oh my gosh, what could I have done differently? But why did I go do it again the next day? Is because no one is going to give it to me, Mark. No one is going to put food on my family's plate. No one's going to put a roof on our heads. I'm going to be the dude. I'm going to do it, right? I'm the hero of my family. And so my family is what drives me. They're the ones that help me get up every morning, that keeps grinding, keeps working. And that's why there's no quitting me, because I can't quit on my family. So why should I quit? Why should I quit going out?
Beautiful. Like, honestly, I was almost speechless after that. That was so good. And I love what you keep referencing, man. And I'm the hero of my family. I mean, what I love is, like, you put family first, and everyone who knows me is I'm the exact same way, and your why is your family. I just gave you guys a mentorship. Is the most important thing to motivation is waking up every day and remembering what you're fighting for. Like, every day you have to wake up and remember, why did you walk into that title company to begin with? Why did I become a signing agent to begin with? And if you ever feel like you don't want to market that day, it's your job to make you feel like you want to market that day. It's no one else's, And you said that so eloquently, like, no one else is going to put food on my family's table. No one else is going to build my business. And I have the same mentality, right? I mean, the way I built my signing service and loan signing system, it's like, no one's going to build loan signing system. I'm going to do it. I need to get out there every single day and tell people what I can do for them. And same concept. You need to go out every single day and tell title companies what you can do for them. And I love what you said, man. I know I'm the hero of my family. I'm not going to let them down. Your why. And, talk about, if you could, is, because I think people heard it crystal clear, what drives you, and it's your family. You hear the word no. Like, how do you brush that off, right? Because I think people hear the word no, Derek, and they get petrified by it, or it's the end of the world for them. And I empathize with people like that. So I want to help them through that. And, so you hear the word no, you walk outside, like you said, you get dressed up, you stumble through your thing, you hear the word no.
Yeah.
How are you able to dust yourself off, brush yourself off? What's your trick, if you can teach somebody?
Yeah. So being mentally tough has been a big part of it for me. I'm a big advocate of self-improvement. And I've just learned to just kind of toughen up my skin, toughen up my mindset. And it wasn't easy. I'll tell you, it's not easy, and it takes a lot of work, but you can get to that point. And that's why it's important to self-improve. And honestly, another thing that really helped me to get less no's, because that's a big part of it as well, was actually taking the course. Not just taking the course actually that I took, it was actually the six-figure course that I took, because there were some scripts there, right? I didn't have a mentor, so I just was winging it. Big mistake right there was just trying to wing things, because now thinking about it, I probably looked a little foolish to some of those title companies, because I didn't know what I was saying or doing. But some of those scripts, some of the taking the course, actually that helped my confidence boost a ton. And that'll be another one for you, boosting your confidence. It permeates when you're sitting there in front of the escrow officers. They can see your confidence, and it's not in a bad way. It's in a good way. That, yeah, I'm going to treat your clients well. I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to make sure your paperwork is flawless when it gets returned.
Well, I think you said something which was awesome, man. And that is, The best way to deal with the word no is to learn how to get no less. Touche, you know what I mean? Spoken like a $20,000 a month signing agent, man. And whether it's that, my course or other, some of the self-improvement stuff, it's just trying to build the best version of you so you get less no's, so you don't have to deal with that moment of like, oh my gosh, this sucks. What I think I heard in there too, and correct me if I'm wrong, is, when you hear the word no, because you use the word mentally tough. And so I think what mentally tough means for people, because I like to think I'm mentally tough too, because I've had more no's than I could remember in this industry, is, understanding that when someone tells you no, they're not saying no to you, but to the idea, to the pitch. We take no too personally. Yeah. When they don't know me, they're not saying no to me. They're saying no to whatever the pitch was, the idea of the service. And being able to delineate between the two, I think was really helpful for me on my journey of getting through the no's. Because I think a mentally tough person understands it. They're not saying no to Derek. They're right. saying no to the idea of my pitch might just have stunk. Or maybe I came in there at the wrong time and they were busy. But they're not saying no to me. They're saying no to the pitch. And be able to delineate between the two, I think is kind of what helps me. And I think maybe if you can agree to that, or maybe you want to conversate around that point.
Yeah, I look at no as meaning not forever. It means maybe not today, but guess what? I'll be back here in a couple of weeks. I'll be back here in a month, and we're gonna talk again. So no doesn't mean no forever.
I love it. And again, I hope people just resonated with what you just said. People see no as such a final answer.
Yes.
Derek just said, I will see you in a month. And I hope everyone heard the mindset of a $20,000 a month signing agent. It isn't, oh no, okay, I'm never popping back in here again. It's like, cool, I'll see you in a month. I'll see you in 2 weeks. You're going to see me again. So I'm hoping people are really trying to pick up on, the mindset of a $20,000 a month signing agent. It is, I wake up every day, remember what I'm fighting for. No stink. So the way I do that is, I don't take no personally. I take it as, cool, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Yep. And learning those little minds, because remember, I try to teach all you students, mindset is as important as the X's and O's.
Yes. I
can teach you guys what to say, but if you're not willing to say it, we got to work on the mindset, right? And so, dude, you've been dropping fire. I hope people are getting really, a lot of value out of this, because I think I am. I love it, man. Let's go into something else. I think people are interested in, and that's the day in the life of a $20,000 a month signing agent, right? People are like, yo, how is he doing $20,000 a month, right? That's not possible. I can't do it. So let's take people through kind of the average workday for you now currently. So how many signings are you doing a day on average every day?
So Monday through Friday, I do about 6 to 8. Saturdays, I'll do about 1 to 4.
Okay.
And Saturdays, Sundays, a couple Sundays a month, maybe 1 or 2 total of the Sundays. So a lot.
Love it. Okay, so let's talk about the 6 to 8, right? Let's walk someone through that. What's that look like? Because they're dying to know. So you wake up, what time? And let's take people throughout the entire day.
Yeah, so I wake up about 7 to 8 o'clock in the mornings when I wake up. And then right away, I get up and it's time to get going. I usually have pretty early morning signings. So I do about 2 or 3 in the morning. And then after that, I'll go drop off all the documents I did in the morning, plus the ones I did late at night, the night before. So I'll drop everything off. So just to, get all that off my hands. I want to get that off my hands as soon as possible. Then I have a little break in the afternoon, right there, early afternoon. And what I've done is I created a spreadsheet where in each tab is a county. So I do signings in all different counties around me. And so I have a spreadsheet by county, and then in those tabs, a list by city, and I'll go and try to market myself in those cities. And I'll try to visit like 1 or 2. I try to find something that maybe clumped together so I can just kind of, minimize my time frames. And I'll go do that. Then I'll go do a couple more signings in the afternoon, come drop those off, come home, spend some time with family, have some lunch, go out, do a couple more, maybe have to print as well, do a couple more in the evening. And that's when I'm able to do 6 or 8. And then I'll go home, spend some time with the family, and get ready to start printing for the next day.
Okay, so I think you said something pretty quickly, so let's slow down, because I think you just dropped an amazing nugget. So I hope everybody picks up on this. So just to recap your daily schedule, you do some in the morning, Then you drop off docs, you do some in the afternoon, you drop off docs, you do some in the evening. So it's 2 to 3 in the morning, a couple hours to drop off docs, 2 to 3 early afternoon, drop off docs, a couple in the evening, and that's your day. Did I hear that right? Okay, cool. But here is the nugget that I hope everybody heard is when you're dropping off docs, you find out where you are in your county. You pull up the spreadsheet and you see I'm dropping off docs at XY title company.
Yes.
You pull up your spreadsheet and you see what are other title companies in this area.
Yes.
And so you drop off your docs and then you go out and you're marketing to the title companies right in the same area. So you're very concise with your time. It's no wasted effort. When you say talk about working smarter, not harder, this is it. I hope everyone is listening to this little hack here. So where he drops off title docs to, he already has a spreadsheet of all the title companies in that same area. Yes. So he drops off title docs. He's like, there's a title company 1.25 miles away. Let me drop off over there, go in, say my spiel. Cool. I see another title company in the same vicinity. Let me let me go in there and market my business. So there's no wasted effort throughout your day. So if people are wondering how you make $20,000 a month and still have time to market your business, it is he markets with title companies that are around the areas where he's dropping off docs from other clients. So there's no wasted energy, no wasted gas, no wasted time. Like I'm dropping docs off at 10. That gives me about an hour to hit 3 or 4 different title companies before I need to get to my 1 o'clock. Fire. I call that fire. If my editing skills were good enough to put little fire emojis, I would put it all over right here, because that's how a $20,000 a month signing agent works. There's no wasted effort. There's no wasted energy. There's no wasted hours of the day. Where some people will drop off docs and be like, oh, let me just wait for the next text message. Let me wait for the next phone call. Let me wait for the next email. The moment those docs get dropped off, you're marketing.
Exactly.
And I hope everybody heard that, man. You're not $20,000 a month on accident. There are some people who will some students who will drop off docs and then kind of go home.
Yep.
Not you. You drop off docs and it's like, okay, cool. Let me bust out my spreadsheet. Who is right here in this area? Who do I not get business from? And who needs me to market to them? And that's what it is. It's marketing every single day. That's a $20,000 a month signing agent. And how about this question? Every spare moment you have that you're not doing signings during the workday, is it safe to say that every spare moment you have in the workday that's not around family, obviously, or doing signings, you're marketing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you another good one too. I'll be with someone signing. They said, oh, hey, you were great. You were better than my other notaries that worked with me before. I have a few properties I'll be doing coming up soon. I'm like, hey, did you know you can request your notary? Here's my card. Boom. I just got some more business from one client. Right. I've got multiple properties on one client now.
And those multiple properties could have multiple escrow officers and title officers. So now you're being introduced to a new title officer or a new escrow officer. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. It is, you're either working, you're marketing, or you're with your family. Like that's why you're at $20,000 a month. It is not like, oh, when there's downtime, I'm not running home or jumping on Netflix or waiting for a text message or an email. It is, I'm either working, I'm either with my family, or I'm marketing my business. And if you can market in the middle of a signing, like you just said, you take as many opportunities to market. I hope people are hearing this. There's no downtime. Look, full disclosure, not everyone wants to build a $20,000 a month business.
Right.
Cool. But if you do, you have to think and act like a $20,000 a month signing agent. And what Derek's telling you right now is that is signings, marketing, or family.
Yes.
There's no downtime. If there is an hour in the day, it's either marketing or he's with his family. It is not doing nothing. And
you got it.
And that's what I want people to get inspired by or learn from. It's like, you want 20 grand? Then you need to be in the avenue of marketing, signings, or for you, your case, family. There's no, like, I'm going to watch Netflix. There's no, I'm going to sit on Facebook for an hour. There's no, I'm going to jump on the phone. I'm building my business because, like you say, I'm the hero of my family.
Yeah.
So you want $20,000 a month like Derek. It's simple. There's no such thing as downtime. It is marketing if you have no signings or you're with your family. There's no downtime. There's no Netflixing, Facebooking, Instagramming. It is, I'm building my business. And that's why I love these interviews, man, is to get in the mindset of a $20,000 a month signing agent. Again, that lifestyle is not for everybody. But if you want a $20,000 a month business, it is signings, marketing, family. Did I kind of break that down correctly?
You got it perfect.
I mean, I love it. I love it. Well, I mean, I hope everyone's getting it. I mean, well, like I said, you were the most successful signing agent that we've interviewed yet. And so I love just digging into the mindset of what a $20,000 a month signing agent is. It's like, look, no's mean I'll see you later. I'll see you in a week.
Yeah.
You know, I got to get mentally tough. You got to understand, you got to get better. So you get less no's. I love that part of it, man. And it's not just my course, it's other self-improvement areas. So I think this is the perfect segue, by the way, on what is your number one tip. If you have a best friend, dude, who's like, D, I need one tip, man, on how I can build a $20,000 a month signing agent empire like you have. What's that number one tip for him?
It would be to self-improve daily, like daily self-improvement. And it's just not once in a while watching these like videos. It's every day watching multiple videos. It's listening to podcasts. It's reading books, listening to audiobooks. Like, you know, I'm on the road a lot. If you get in my vehicle, you don't hear music. I don't listen, like you said, I don't watch Netflix. I don't listen to music. I will on Sundays, right? When I'm with the family, that's when I'll do that stuff. But when it's grinding, it's work time, I don't got time for that. And so, you know, like Zig Ziglar, I think he said one time, if you spend, if you drive 10,000 miles a year just listening to audio, that's like equivalent to like a 2 or 4 year university. And so that's what I do. I just listen to podcasts, audiobooks. I put YouTube videos on. I don't watch them. I just listen to YouTube videos. Yeah. And so that's what I do. I'm just constantly self-improving. Like I've taken the LSS course and I still watch some of those videos. Like on certain topics I still want to get stronger or get refreshed on. I still watch those videos. I go back and watch them multiple times.
Okay, I'm writing down notes because you're like making so much fire, you know, but I, again, you know, what I really want to touch on, man, is just the mindset of a $20,000 a month signing agent. You were all business. Again, this $20,000 level isn't for everybody, but if you're watching this right now and you're like, how are some of these signing agents making $20,000 a month? The answer is you're constantly feeding your brain. You're constantly marketing. You're constantly trying to get better. You walk into your car, you will never hear music.
No.
You're feeding the brain. I try to tell you guys, you have to fall in love with learning. And a $20,000 a month signing agent is telling you that I fell in love with learning. I fell in love with getting better. I fell in love with self-improvement. So, by the way, I've seen Zig Ziglar live. Yes, before the man passed, passed. One of my favorite Zig Ziglar quotes, by the way, is if you help enough people get what they want, you will always get what you want. And that is the mantra of the loan signing system. If I help enough signing agents, I'm going to get what I want for me and my family. So with that being said, man, you know, I just love you digging into your mind. I hope people are hearing this. You know, Derek's all business. But what I think you said very nicely too, is you time block. I teach you guys this as well, but you do it also. It's not like you don't watch TV. You just watch it on Sundays. Like there's a time for it, right? There's a time to learn. There's a time to unwind. There's a time to market. There's a time to be with the family. But you know, if you want to make $20,000 a month, you're always on the go. You're getting better mentally. You're marketing your business. There's no Netflix in the middle of the day. There's no Facebook in the middle of the day. There's no Instagram. I'm either getting my business better. And Zig Ziglar's right. Especially signing agents, man. We're on the road so much. We could be listening to the equivalent of a 4-year college degree if we would just let ourselves fall in love with learning. And there's something else you said, man, that I really hope some LSS students heard. You still go back through the LSS course.
Yeah.
And that again is the mindset of a $20,000 a month signing agent. You're still humble enough to learn more. We have some students who are at $6,000, $8,000 a month, Derek, who will never open up the course again. They're like, oh, I've learned everything I could from LSS. I don't need it. I can't do it. But you're hearing from a $20,000 a month signing agent. He did $150,000 last year, who's on pace to do $250,000 this year, who still opens up the course time to time to self-improve. Dude, I hope this is one of my favorite interviews yet. This interview is so good. I think I want to interview more of you high earners because like digging into your mindset's a special thing. I mean, you're all about just building a business. You call it a grind, right? I always call it building a business. It's like if you're not doing something in revolves of an actual signing, if you're still doing something to get better or to grow your business, which is marketing. That's it, right? I mean, you
Yes.
spend one day a week where you're going to let loose, unwind. That's your Sundays. By the way, we're doing this on a Sunday. So thank you for giving me that little bit of that moment. I know you wanted to inspire
Yeah.
people, but thank you. I didn't realize Sundays was your family day. So thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
No, hey, this is my family too. It's like extended family. It's all right.
Oh, I love it. We are family, the LSS family. Everyone's going to love it. But yeah, man, I mean, look, you again, $20,000 a month isn't for everybody, but if you are aspiring to be in the $20,000 a month range, it's all about just building your business. I don't have time for music. Some people love music. Some people need to wind down. Some people, that's how people get down from stress. I get it.
Right.
I'm not talking down about it, but it's not an accident why you're at $20,000 a month. Like, I mean, I hope people are really getting that right now. I hope people really, he markets in relationship to where the docs are being dropped off. Like you can't ask for a more efficient marketing system. He's telling you that if he has downtime, he is marketing. That's how a $20,000 a month signing agent gets to $20,000 a month. This is epic, man. Thank you so much again. I mean, you've dropped so much fire. I hope everybody is just taking notes and learning because this is all about mindset. I mean, look, I tell everybody, every student, D, that everyone has the same course, right?
Yeah.
It's the mindset behind the course, and digging into yours, I think is really, really helpful. So thank you again so much for sharing all this.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. And look, I am just a coach. The players make the plays, so I can't take credit for your greatness. And again, you were making 10 grand before you even walked into the LSS. And so I'm just proud of you for having and adopting and embracing the abundant mindset and the growth mindset, because that's what got you from 10 to 20 and will get you to 20 to $50,000 a month. And you're going to keep going to this. I mean, come on. If anybody needs to hear anything outside of you're making $20,000 a month in Utah, if you are a Los Angeles signing agent, if you're in Dallas, you're in Miami, you're in Denver. I mean, come on. I mean, look, Salt Lake City isn't one of the top 10 metropolitan areas. And
Right.
You're doing 20 grand a month in what I would call a small major city. I mean, it's just epic, right? You deal with the snow, everything. I mean, some of the things that like Southern people don't deal with, Southern California, Arizona. So there's no excuse not to be $20,000 if
No excuse.
that's something you want to accomplish. Okay, man, this has been fire. Let's kind of wrap up with the last question I ask.
Okay.
If you can kind of put yourself into the shoes of Derek before he became a signing agent, right? The moment where you're hesitant, the moment where you're like, okay, because I want to speak to someone now, Derek, who's watching this video, who's super inspired by your story. Like, oh my gosh, he's making $20,000 in Salt Lake City. I can do that here. But they're on the fence for whatever reason. What was the moment of you being on the fence that almost prevented you from becoming a signing agent to maybe relate to someone else with that same anxiety?
What prevented me? It again goes back to just thinking I can do it without, I don't know why I would think that way, but think I could do it without help because I've had mentors in other areas. And why would I not get a mentor in this area too and plug into a system that's proven to work, right? And instead of just winging it, plug into something that's already working. And if I could go back in time, I'd slap myself and just say, do it. You're already watching the videos for a reason. You already keep messaging Mark and bothering Mark for a reason. Do it now.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I mean, I think your biggest piece of advice for new signing agents, like, again, I don't want this to be a loan signing system commercial. If there's other mentors out there you're looking at, you've been seeing their videos, it's just get a mentor. Like, you don't need to do this business on your own. And I think you're hearing that throughout a few of these on the roads of signing agents is, you don't need to do this on your own in 2021. Yes, there's free information abundantly out there, but that's different than having somebody in your corner, somebody that you can call, talk to, reach out to, message to. Derek was messaging me before he was even a paying student.
Thank you for responding.
You're welcome. To answer, you're welcome. But I've never got into this for the money. I got into help people. And so student or not, man, I was always there for you. But now I'm super juiced that you made the choice to do this because you're at $10,000 a month. Like, get out of here with that.
And the most exciting part, Mark, is that I know that, our relationship is going to help me and you get to the next level.
That's right. That's right. I love it. I love it. Well, let's wrap up, man. Let's wrap up with some words of inspiration, encouragement. Like, it's not every day someone gets to listen to a $20,000 a month signing agent, right? So what are some words of encouragement to someone building their business, whether they're at 5,000, 6,000, whether they're at $15,000 a month? Just leave somebody with just take the floor, man. Be Zig Ziglar, be someone to encourage, and let someone else know whatever you'd like to know to help them get there.
You're watching this for a reason. And if you're just starting, I know it can be intimidating when you see that stack of documents. It's 150 pages or so. And you're like, I don't know how to read this. I don't know how am I going to be able to explain this to a borrower? How can I even do this? Me, myself, I had the same thoughts because I owned a house and I still don't even know what I signed, right? But just know this, you can do it. You can learn it. Everything at this point in your life, you're not born with that information. You learn the information. The job you have now, the full-time job you might have now, you weren't born with that information. You learned it. You trained and you did it over and over and over again. And that's what will happen here. You'll do it over and over and over again. And then it just is like, it's just becomes, you don't even have to really even look at it. You'll fly through it before you know it. But it won't happen until you take action and do it, though.
Take action and do it. I mean, I think you can say that same piece of advice and encouragement for people trying to market direct. Like, it will happen until you do it, right? I mean,
yes,
you got to get through some no's to get to a yes. I was going to end the interview with that, but you said something I'd like to dive into, if that's okay. Because it's crazy, because what I heard a little bit was self-doubt. You said that, like, I didn't know if I was going to be able to remember all this information, and say it at a signing table. So what I heard was self-doubt in that statement. And I think that's really vulnerable, again, because to hear a $20,000 a month signing agent self-doubted themselves, I think is relatable and refreshing to someone who's experienced the same self-doubt. So my question is this: you had a little bit of self-doubt before you became a signing agent.
Yes.
What helped you push through that? So maybe someone else experiencing that could kind of draw from your inspiration. What was that moment of, like, you know what? Okay, I'm nervous that I'm not going to be able to remember all these loan docs. I'm nervous that I've never seen this before. What helped you? So maybe you can help somebody else.
You have to find out your why. Why do you want to do what you want to do? What is it? And it's got to be huge. It's got to be a big why. And as you can probably guess, my why is my family. And I just knew I've got to get through it because other parts of my life are not going where I want it to go. And I got to provide for them. And, and me personally, I just couldn't work at a job anymore. I'm just a purebred entrepreneur, I believe. And I just knew I had to do it. Even if I didn't like it, even if I felt uncomfortable, I had to do it. And if you look at all the most successful people in life, in any area, they were not comfortable doing what they were doing, but they did it anyway. And doing the uncomfortable led them to a path of success, and then they became comfortable in life. And I knew I would get there at some point as well.
What I heard again, and I love it, man. And I'm a family first guy as well. And so your family was it, you weren't going to allow nerves of not learning, being able to learn something, hold you back from a possibility. Right. And what you said, you need to get your why big enough that the why pushes you through those nerves. And I think that's the piece of advice that you're going to give. And I would also echo the same sentiments: is if the word no prevents you from walking into a title company, if the idea of learning something new prevents you from pulling the trigger on whatever that is, you need a bigger why.
Yes.
Your why should be able to drive you through the nerves. Your why should be able to drive you through the fear. So you said as well, I tell you students, remember, wake up every single day remembering what you are fighting for.
Absolutely.
If you wake up every day 2 feet out of bed, why did I wake up this morning? Why am I building this business? Why do I need to market to title companies? If you remember what you're fighting for every single day, the business comes easy. I can't take credit for this quote, but I'm going to say it. Somebody said before me, when the why is big, the how is easy. My man, I am so proud of you, Derek. Congratulations on becoming an uber successful signing agent out in Salt Lake City, of all places in America. If you can do it, anyone watching this can do it. Be blessed, stay blessed, and I'll see you next week, brother.
See you at the top. Thank you.
Bye.